So, obviously you can see from the video title, this is a video about Arsenal's player of the month, in my opinion, my player of the month. Obviously you guys can make your own minds up and leave it in the comment section down there. Before I get into the video, don't forget, stick a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and big up everyone who's subscribed so far. Nearly 10,500, so it's growing massive at the moment, on a huge rate every single day, over 100 a day right now. So this one for me was a no-brainer. I looked at some of the stats from our games. We've played 6 games in the league in this month, in April, and we've lost the last 3, conceding 9 goals. And one of them we lost 1-0, and then the other 2 we won 1-0. So obviously, as you can see from there, we have scored hardly any goals this month and conceded 10 goals. So for me, there is only one contender, and I know he made a couple of errors against Wolves, but for me, my player of the month is Bernd Leno. I think the amount of shots we have conceded this month, I've actually written them all down. The teams that we have played, bear in mind, we've played Newcastle, Everton, Watford, Palace, Wolves and Leicester. And between them 6 teams, they have attempted 88 shots at goal. 88 shots in 6 games. Only 32 of them were on target, but still, that is way too many shots on target. Considering the opposition we're up against, it's not like we're playing prime Barcelona's here, is it? We're playing, some teams are right down the bottom in terms of Newcastle, Palace. When we played them, they were quite far down the table, like 14th, 15th. Obviously Watford, Everton, Wolves, they're all decent teams. Leicester's not a bad team as well. But they're all hit and miss. It's not like we are playing up against top draw football teams that are higher up the table than us. So to concede that many shots on target, 32, is unbelievable. And I'll just run through some of them here. Against Newcastle, that was probably the best game we played this month. You know, they did absolutely nothing. They came for a 0-0 draw, and even when we went 1-0 up, they just didn't look like they could be bothered. So yeah. You know, that was a nice, comfortable victory in the end. But they had 3 shots in total, 1 on target. Everton away. We didn't bother turning up. None of the players were at the races. They had 23 shots, 6 on target. Watford away. Bear in mind, Watford went down to 10 men. They had 11 shots on goal, 3 on target. Palace at home, 16 shots, 7 on target. Wolves, 11 shots, and they scored with all 3 shots on target. I'm not surprised though, to be fair. Leicester, our last game, 24 shots towards our goal, 12 on target. Now the reason I've come to Bernd Leno being the player of the month, like I said, we have not scored anywhere near enough goals this month. We've scored a couple against Palace, 1 against Wolves, so there's 3. 1 against Newcastle. So what, 4 goals? 4 goals, one against Wolves, Watford. 5 goals this month we've scored. 5 goals. 5 goals. It's disgraceful, really, isn't it? Let's be real. 5 goals, Arsenal Football Club. But when I looked at the amount of shots that Leno had faced and the amount of goals we'd conceded, 32 shots on target, 10 goals. 2 of them he gave them against Wolves, right? So there was 2 shots on target, 2 goals. So take that off the total, that leaves 30 shots on target, 8 goals. He has made some unbelievable saves this month. And without him, and with a better goalkeeper in goal, somebody not as good as him, we would have probably been on the wrong end of some 5-6 nillers, let's be real. Leicester at the weekend, that could have got really embarrassing. Wolves, I know they only had 3 shots on target, but if they'd played in their right man a few times instead of picking the wrong option, they could have had a few more goals. So even Watford with 10 men, weren't an easy game. We were bang under pressure in that game. And the problem is, when your strikers are not giving you the work rate and tracking back, and your midfielder just letting runners run off of them and not tracking back, your fullbacks are caught so high up the pitch and not tracking back, your defence is then isolated. It doesn't help when you've got Mustafi in defence, letting Wilfried Zaha walk straight past him for a goal, which, by the way, Leno nearly saved. He nearly saved all of the goals that day. And, you know, I just think that he is the only player this month that can come out of this month with any sort of credibility. Eddie Nketiah has done well in the last couple of games, little cameo appearances that he's done, but I can't think of another player. I genuinely can't. You know, I just look at it and like, yeah, we played. I'm not doing it on Europa League games. I'm only doing it on Premier League before anyone queries that. But, you know, the Premier League's our bread and butter, and this is where our players need to turn up and be consistent. You know, a cup competition, you don't have to play well when you can win. Admittedly, we did play well against Napoli, but, you know, the Premier League, to look at the shots on goal, the shots on target, and then all of the players individually and as a collective over them 6 games, the only one for me that actually can deserve to say he's played well this month, barring the cock-up at Wolves, is Bernd Leno. You know, if you look at our strikers, where have they been for a month? You know, they're not banging goals in like they were earlier in the season. Our midfielders non-existent. People just run off them left, right and centre. We're talking about the likes of Maddison. We're talking about Neves. Players like this. And listen, they're good footballers. But we're Arsenal Football Club. We should be able to switch on. We should be able to track runners and concentrate for 90 minutes. Lucas Torreira at the weekend against Leicester, I thought he'd done all right. But again, he's another one that's disappeared too many times this season. Recently, he's come back, he played fantastic against Napoli. But he's disappeared since. Yes, he turned up at the weekend to a lesser degree, but it was just not good enough, especially when you're being isolated by the likes of Xhaka as well, and Iwobi and Mkhitaryan, you know. So he can't do it all on his own, and I think he does give a lot of effort. But other than that, Koscielny, maybe. When you're conceding that many goals, how can a centre-back get player of the month? When you're conceding that many shots, how can a centre-back get it? None of the full-backs deserve it at all. So for me, I had to give it to Bernd Leno. But you know, at the end of the day, that's just my opinion. I think that we're all going to be in agreement on this one. I can't see anybody else getting it. And this is going to be a new feature that I'm going to be doing. I thought about it the other day. I thought I want to start doing it. I thought, why wait until the start of next season? Why don't I just start doing it now? I'm also going to be doing a goal of the month as well. I will start that next season, though. There's no point now. There's only 2 league games left. So that's kind of irrelevant this month. If I was going to give a goal of the month, I'd probably give it to Aubameyang for his goal against Palace. I think that was probably the best goal we scored. He picked the ball up deep. He ran at 2 or 3 players. It got blocked as he went to play it in the box. It looped back up and he just volleyed it straight in. But it didn't count for anything. And too many times this season, we've had games where it's not counted for anything. And, you know, moving forward, you know, I've said this so many times, I want to see 11 men on that pitch that are fighting for that badge and fighting for the fans. And we can all talk about, like the club talk about it all the time, being together, and the manager's been speaking about it, the players are speaking about it. We all need to back the team. We back the team every single match day. How about they start backing the fans? I want to see them back the fans. Give the fans something to be happy about. Give the fans something to smile about. Get some pride back in it, because it don't look like there is any pride right now. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is Leno your player of the month? Like I said, he is mine. The amount of shots conceded is a joke. The lack of goals this month has been a joke. But unbelievably, we are still in with a chance for top 4. I personally don't think we'll get it. But then I think that maybe depends on whether Chelsea get through to or get a good result on Thursday, should I say. If they get a good result on Thursday, they'll probably put a reserve team out for the weekend. And we'll probably do likewise. And in a way, I don't blame Emery if he does that. If we get a nice little 2 or 3-0 win, I don't blame him one bit if we stick a load of kids in there on the weekend. Because for me, a trophy is more important than finishing 4th. And the trophy gets you into the same competition as 4th anyway. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, if you're enjoying the content, stick a thumbs up on the video. I'll be back tomorrow, I think it is, when Emery does his press conference for the game. So keep your eyes out for that, the press conference reaction. I will also be back tomorrow as well with the preview for the Valencia game. That is our biggest game of the season, and these players want to make sure they defend properly, track their runners, stick their foot in, take their chances, and make us fans proud of them again. Anyway, until then, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.